Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy BB27 here, and welcome to my 1,000 subscriber special. So, for my 1,000 subscriber special, I will be finally doing SML character review, Jeffy. This is a character that has been requested for a long time. A lot of people wanted me to do him right away when I first started doing character reviews, and I was going to, but then I decided I wanted to push him back for a special milestone or a special amount of episodes. I actually was going to do him way later on, but I decided today makes sense that I finally cover Jeffy. And this is going to be a long one, guys. This isn't going to be like the other character reviews. I will be covering multiple eras of just Jeffy since he's such a different character. I mean, granted, Junior is as well, and some of the other characters I've covered have a lot going on with their history, like Marvin. But with Jeffy, he's changed drastically over the years, so I will be covering multiple eras of his character and how I've, thought of him. So yeah, if you don't know, we're just gonna hop right into it. Jeffy is basically the breadwinner of SML. He is the guy who basically made Logan famous. He's the character that really took over the channel and invited millions of people and brought the SML community together as a whole. Before Jeffy was around, it was just Junior and friends, and granted, they did a lot for Logan back in the day, but it's nothing compared to what Jeffy did for the channel, with bringing in so many people and angry parents and so many dramas and ups and downs and all even leading to the lawsuit. I mean, there's just so much this character has caused. But basically who Jeffy is to SML is he is Mario's adopted autistic 20-year-old son. In the beginning, he was I think he was 12 years old in his first ever video, which was Mario the Babysitter. This is a very old school, iconic video. This is what, changed SML forever. Initially, he wasn't really around on the channel too much back in these days. He had maybe a few videos here and there in the very beginning. And then as the months went on in 2016, he started kind of overtaking the channel and being in every single video, kind of like what Junior was doing back then, but it was way more. So essentially, Jeffy he's the dumb character, which, I mean, this is nothing new for Logan. He's had Mama Luigi previously, he had Junior, but Jeffy's the really, really stupid one. He's kind of like the Patrick of the SML community. So yeah, in the earlier days, in first few videos, he wasn't a very good character. A lot of his jokes would basically just consist of him smacking his diaper and saying, which, granted, I mean, something that always was around, but he literally only had maybe 3 jokes max. There was the diaper thing, there was him hitting his head against the couch when Mario would say he was a bad boy, and there was just kind of him being loud and annoying with toys. That was something that was very consistent. His character was awful in 2016, I'm just gonna say that right now. But see, the reason why I want to cover so many eras of him is because he's changed so much. I can't just cover him in a 5-minute video and be like, oh, he's an F-tier character, because he hasn't been an F-tier character recently, But back then, yes, he was an F-tier character. This was at his worst. I mean, I get it. It was early on. They were just experimenting with him. But it was rough, there were some really awful videos during this time, like Jeffy's Bad Word, Locked Out, which was god-awful, one of the worst SML videos. It would basically just consist of him torturing Mario and Rose. Rose would always take his side, though. She acts as, his mom. And then later on, we found out who his real parents were. And, that's when we learned about Nancy and his dad and all these other, and Phoebe eventually. But yeah, anyways, so yeah, we would learn a lot about Jeffy's family as the years went on and who he was and all this backstory. But in the beginning, yeah, it was mainly just Mario and Rose, right, who were taking care of him. And even to this very day, I mean, they still are the ones, taking care of him. He's still living with them. Even though they never did a Jeffy moves out, I always wanted to see that. But yeah, so going back to 2016, yeah, Jeffy videos were awful. The community was growing. It was toxic. It was insane. He was just eating up every video he could get in, and just really, he wasn't that funny, so every time you'd see him in a video, you knew what to expect. He was easily the most predictable SML character at the time. Even to this very day, sometimes he's still pretty predictable, but especially back then, his earlier years, you always knew what the joke was gonna be, so it never made the videos feel unique. These were some of the worst videos coming out on the channel, and it started all these dramas between YouTubers and SML critics and, you know, different people, and leaving the channel and unsubscribing. And then you had the Jeffy fans who just hated SML, or they loved SML, but they also hated like all the old SML fans, and then, you know, hated people who didn't like Jeffy and weren't just like constantly glazing Jeffy. And it was just constant wars during this time. And really, his earlier years were just insane to look back at, because just how much shit was caused and how bad of a character he was, you know? So that's at least just the 2016 part of Jeffy. That's just kind of like the part one. Now I'm going to be moving on to the 2017 and 18 years of Jeffy. All right, so now we're in the 2017 era of Jeffy. This is actually when his character did start to change a little bit. Basically what happened to Jeffy is he was still a dumb character. He was still, you know, had some of the main jokes that we got used to. But by this point, Logan started making him more of an icon for the channel and changing his humor into a more edgier, kind of aggressive way than it used to be. So he would just swear a whole lot, and they started focusing on that more, and he would just yell and freak out at Mario. So instead of just annoying him, he would actually rage at him and ask him for money and beg him for stuff, and then he would like destroy things, like in Jeffy's Tantrum, which was another like infamous SML video. And his character this is not when his character started getting better. His character was actually progressively getting worse, and I'd say this is probably the worst his character ever was. Because at least in 2016, yeah, he was dumb and boring, but in 2017, he was extremely annoying and aggressive and just a bitch to Mario and Rose overall. It didn't matter what they did for him, he would just yell about it or break something. And the whole green bean joke started getting super overused. Like, they would try to introduce new things, but then they would overuse them instantly, which is, you know, that's something Logan always has done. But with Jeffy, it was aggressive, it was extreme, you know, the amounts of him doing that was just insane. So the green bean thing was, you know, overused, and then the yelling and screaming and swearing wasn't as funny anymore. Initially, though, it was, because it was like, oh, he's just like the dumb, innocent, you know, character. And then he starts like, swearing, right? And that's kind of funny. He's like raging. But it was overdone, and it was just way too much. And this was easily his most controversial period, at least in my opinion. I know a lot of people would say 2017 was like easily his most infamous era. It was just because of videos like Jeffy's Tantrum or Jeffy's Piggy Bank or Drawing Jeffy, where he just scream at Mario, get really mad at him, flip tables, you know, break TVs, whatever. He'd just do whatever. And then the gross out humor was also getting worse too. And yeah, he was still F tier for me, definitely. I still hated him a lot during these years. He was, guys, like, for the longest time, he was the worst character to me. I genuinely hated Jeffy. I was a Jeffy hater. I considered quitting many times during these years, which is kind of surprising that I waited so long to take my hiatus. It was like 2021 with the cease and desist, and then that's when I finally stopped watching. But yeah, it's just, you know, it's interesting to think I didn't stop sooner. I kept thinking, oh, Logan's gonna kill off Jeffy. He's gonna kill off Jeffy. Everybody kept asking him to do that, and then he didn't, you know? So yeah, and then one time he promised he would if he got ads back, because of the whole 2017 and 18 shit going on, and then he got the ads back and he still didn't burn Jeffy, because obviously, you know, it's the most popular character, he's not gonna do that. But yeah, I mean, this whole thing was just insane. Like, these are some of the most insane Super Mario Logan years ever, and the front face of the channel, you know, just wasn't very good. And he would even take over like junior videos too. Like, you get like a good junior video, but then, oh, Jeffy's in it for no reason, and it's like, okay, whatever. Or he gets mad at them, and it's like, oh, great, you know. So yeah, I mean, this was like some of the last years though that he was really bad. Like I said, 2017, 18, these were some of his last years of being super bad, because he does actually start improving a little bit by 2020 and 2021, which we'll get into now. Alright, so now we're moving on to somewhat more modern years for Jeffy. This was kind of his breakthrough on the channel by 2020. The Jeffy videos did actually start getting more enjoyable and funnier, and Jeffy the character was less annoying and aggressive. He started doing more of just the one-off iconic comments that he usually makes, which get put in a lot of like out of context compilations. And him as a character wasn't as like in your face anymore. He was still around a lot in a lot of videos, but he wasn't as annoying or as stupid. Like, he's still dumb, but you could tell they were starting to make Jeffy a little bit bit more mature in certain situations and putting him in like more funnier situations and trying to do more stuff with him. And around this time, especially during like the cease and desist, by the time he got to that, Logan was making more of the Jeffy and Junior type of videos, which were basically a combo where, you know, he would group up with Junior and Cody and Joseph, and they would go do their own adventures. And I thought that was a lot more interesting for Jeffy, and it had him in different situations where I felt like he worked a little bit better. And yeah, he would still annoy Mario and he'd still do stupid stuff, but, you know, they were trying to add more into it and he wasn't as annoying. Like, you know, by this point, we were starting to kind of tolerate Jeffy and tolerate all his bullshit. And it also, you know, Logan wasn't as aggressive anymore with these jokes and the dramas kind of died down. And I just think overall he was improving. He went to like maybe a F tier character to like a D tier character, or even C tier. You know, he was becoming a little bit funny, and it wasn't as annoying when you saw him on screen or he was in a video. Even though, yeah, Logan was still kind of milking him in COVID and Pablo Drought. He was becoming slightly better of a character. There's not much more I can say for this period of time because it's just more of a transition from him being at his absolute worst to just being a little bit better but kind of forgettable. You know what I mean? But I'd say by, you know, the final era I'm going to be covering, 2023, 2024, that's probably the best Jeffy we've ever gotten. So yeah, there's not much more I can say here. But this was nice just because you could kind of tell Logan was finally starting to calm down with the Jeffy crap. Even though he was never going to get rid of the character, he was at least kind of trying to change him for the better. So, you know, there's that. But yeah, moving on. Alright, so now we're in the 2023-2024 years of Jeffy, which is his most current self, and it's easily his best, but it's still not saying a lot. He still needs a lot of improvement. I think at this point, to me, Jeffy is a C-tier character, and I'll give the score right now for him. I think he's like maybe a 6 out of 10 character. Maybe that's being too generous, but I do think he has improved. Like I said, he used to be my least favorite. He's not really my least favorite anymore. I think there's far worse characters like Scooter, and like Rose has had a lot of bad moments, and there's just more bad, crappy characters on the channel than Jeffy. Jeffy is very tolerable nowadays. He does still have a couple bad moments every now and then, but they're super rare. What's also kind of sad about him improving is that he's also being used way less, which, granted, back then, that's what we all wanted. We wanted him to not be in the videos. But nowadays, since he's become actually more funny and sometimes a bit of a relief, he's getting used so little, but his name is still getting slapped on all the titles. So you're still getting like, oh, SML movie, Jeffy's whatever, right? And then it's like 10-minute video, but it's like a junior video, and there's no Jeffy besides like maybe a one-off scene. And it's really weird because like back in 2017, if Logan was doing that, I feel like a lot of Jeffy fans would be pissed off. But nowadays, people just kind of accept it, and they're just like cool with it. Like, oh, it's a Jeffy video, but it's not a Jeffy video. It's actually a Mario and Goodman video, or it's a Junior full video, and it's like Jeffy maybe gets a background appearance or as a side character. He's no longer that main icon, you know, face of the channel. I'd say that role has been given to Brooklyn Guy. Brooklyn Guy has gained a lot of popularity. I'm not going to say he's like the second Jeffy or anything, but he basically did become that in a way. You could still say Jeffy's the face of the channel, yes, but he's no longer what people are like expecting as much from the channel. Like usually it's a lot of just Junior, Goodman, or Brooklyn Guy videos. Every now and then Jeffy will have his own video, but like I said, he's being used for clickbait and views, so yeah, and it's just sad because now he's a good character. Not good, he's average, you know, like I said, but he's good compared to what he used to be. I actually do find him a lot funnier, and I can tolerate him way more. Like videos like Jeffy the Pool Shark, or like a lot of the 2024 Jeffy videos have been pretty solid. You know, there's just a lot more better appearances in him. Like Jeffy's voice changer is great. You know, even though it is like a Cody video, it does still have elements of Jeffy in it, and he's funny when he's there. But when he's not there, you know, he's not there at all. At best, you get a title from him, and that's it. So it's just kind of depressing. In a way, I'm happy with it, you know, him being a side character. His biggest videos nowadays, though, are like the birthday videos. Of course, Jeffy's 20th birthday was really focused on him, and I think that was a great video. But yeah, he doesn't really have big videos anymore like he used to, besides like the birthday events. And it's like, you'd think I'd be happy with that, but now that he's tolerable and funny, it's like, I don't mind seeing him anymore. But it's just weird how, like, Logan decreased his appearances. Brooklyn Guy's definitely his cash cow now. I mean, every video has to have a long 5-minute dragged out Brooklyn Guy scene of him yapping with a Nintendo animation slapped on the front, and a little bit of Judge Poobie in there too. It's always Brooklyn Guy. It's all about Brooklyn Guy, you know, super Brooklyn Guy Logan. That's what it is, you know. And I know I said that in my Brooklyn Guy review a while ago, but I mean, he genuinely took over the whole channel, which is just weird because he was always around during the Jeffy era, but he was kind of like a side character. Now he's definitely main. And Jeffy feels more of like a side character. But yeah, 6 out of 10 for modern day Jeffy. As for the old Jeffy, I have to give him a 1 out of 10. I hated him. He rarely had good videos or appearances. One of the older ones I liked was Jeffy's Brain, but that's only because they were actually doing something creative during that time. Most of the old Jeffy videos are just terrible or just flat out forgettable. A lot of the newer ones tend to be better, even if he's not really in them. So yeah. That's my overall character review on Jeffy. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully I did him justice. There's so much you could say about this character, and there's so many years of history and change and ups and downs, and he's just such a hated character for a lot of good reasons, but he's also a very loved character. And he really split the whole community in half at one point. Now everyone just, like I said, tolerates him, including myself. So yeah, let me know who you want me to review next. And again, thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. It's genuinely insane that this channel actually hit that. I remember being at like 100 for a while and thinking that that was like the best I was gonna get, and being, you know, even at that point I was like, wow, this channel can't go much further than that. I mean, it was insane that it got that far. But then now 1,000, or even just at 500, I was like, wow, 500? 1,000's just insane. It doesn't even sound real. And I really appreciate all the support, guys, and I love you. Appreciate all of my fans and supporters and friends and community. This channel means a lot to me. And yeah, again, thank you guys for everything. And here's to 2K, 3K. You know, we're gonna keep pumping out content, keep pumping out videos, and that's about it. Peace out, stay lit, and see you. Take care.